Hughie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and this is Ted.
Hola!
And we post 2 videos a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 AM. So if you love a recipe video like this one and you want to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now we're going to share with you how to make our delicious slow cooker shredded Mexican chicken bowl. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious slow cooker shredded Mexican chicken bowl. Now this recipe is so simple and it is also super tasty as well. It does use a few herbs and spices, but they make the dish really tasty, and it's one my son really loves, so I know this meal is going to be eaten this evening. So of course, while I was making this dish, I thought I'd share the recipe with you. So here is how to make my delicious slow cooker shredded Mexican chicken bowl. I just mentioned that I'm going to be using herbs and spices to marinate my chicken, but I'm also going to be using some olive oil as well. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to a small glass bowl, and then I'm going to add about a teaspoon of mild chili powder to that as well. So I'm just going to put in a teaspoon, if it will come out the jar. There we go. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of mild chili powder in. I'm going to put some garlic granules in as well. So about a teaspoon of garlic granules is going to go into this. And then, oh, the lid doesn't fly away from me. And then I'm also going to use a teaspoon of onion granules as well. And I'm also going to use a teaspoon of ground cumin as well. I never like the smell of ground cumin until it's cooked with other things. I don't know why, I really don't like it. And then I've got a teaspoon of ground sweet cinnamon as well going in. And then I'm also going to put in a teaspoon, or just about a teaspoon, of oregano, dried oregano or oregano, whichever country you're from and how you say it. And then I'm also going to add in a little bit of black pepper as well, and I'm also going to add in probably about half a teaspoon of salt. I'm using Himalayan pink salt, but you can use sea salt as well if you want to. I just find this better when I'm marinating things. Rather than lumpy sea salt, I prefer like fine Himalayan pink salt. So I'm just going to mix these ingredients together like so, and then I have my chicken here. So I have 2 large chicken legs, but you could use breasts if you want to as well. I think in the original recipe I did actually use breasts for this recipe. And it turned out perfectly well, but I have used legs in another recipe since and it still tastes as nice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cover the chicken legs in the marinade, and I'm going to smother it all over. I'm actually just going to get my hands in there. I'm going to try and put it under the skin as well, because I find that if you put it under the skin, it tends to become a bit juicier. So I'm just going to put this under the skin as well. So I'm just going to peel back some of the skin here with my thumb and fingers, and I'm just going to put a bit of the marinade under the skin like so. And then I'm going to put this into the fridge for a couple of hours, or you could do this overnight if you wanted to as well. So you could do it the night before and then leave it in the fridge and then just put it into your slow cooker in the morning. The chicken legs have been marinating in the fridge for a good couple of hours now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these into the slow cooker. I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to turn it on to low for 6 hours, or if you wanted it slightly quicker, you could put it onto high for 3 hours. If you haven't got a slow cooker, then you can cook these in the oven as well for about 30 minutes. It still works as well. And if you want me to do a recipe on that, then please let me know in the comments below and I will do that for you. The chicken legs have been cooking for about 6 hours now, so I'm going to switch the slow cooker off. And the reason I can tell they're cooked is because the juices from the legs have run clear and they're all in the bottom of the pan. But if you just want to double check, you can put a skewer in and hopefully all of the juices will run clear when the skewer goes in. This isn't happening on this bit of chicken, but I know it's cooked, so I'm not too worried. So yeah, I'm going to leave this to cool for a good half an hour now. As you already know, I have left the chicken to cool, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook my rice. So I've washed through the rice twice, through this colander, under the tap, over the sink, etc. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the rice to my pan, and then I've got bone broth here, and I'm going to add about 500 mils. Now in the original recipe I said to use 300 grams of rice, brown rice, or any type of rice you like, and about 600 mils of bone broth, and that tends to cook the rice really well. I'm just going to check to make sure, but I think that is about the right amount of water or liquid that you're going to need to cook this rice. What I like to do is I like to bring the rice to the boil, then put the lid on and leave it to simmer in the pan until all of the liquid has disappeared basically. And I find that the best way to cook rice. So now I'm going to add a little bit of salt to the water as well, and I'm also going to add a little bit of pepper as well. And I also really love to cook rice in bone broth. Just makes me feel like we're getting a bit more nutrition in our meal if I cook it in bone broth. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a teaspoon of miso paste to the rice, like so. And that also helps to give the rice a lot more flavour. And then later on I will add a handful of spinach to it, but once it's cooked. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the hob on to high, and once it starts to boil I'll turn it down and leave it to simmer, but I'll show you that in a moment. The pan has come to the boil, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this down to a medium heat, and I'm going to leave the rice to simmer until all of the liquid has disappeared. I forgot to mention earlier, but this portion of rice is just for Howard, Ted and I this evening, so it's 2 in a little one, so it's a lot less than the original recipe. So in the original recipe I think I said to use 600 mils of liquid. But as this is only Ted, Howard and I'm using 500 mils, so that should be enough to boil the rice in. As you can see, all of the liquid has boiled away from the rice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to add in my spinach. So I'm just going to add in a large handful of spinach, and I'm going to just stir that around like so until all of the spinach wilts into the rice. That way my son can't complain that there's spinach in it, because if it's already in the rice he will have to eat it. Mummy's sneaky ways there. Anyway, so all of the spinach is wilted in, and now what I'm going to do, my chicken has cooled completely, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shred it now. As I said earlier, now I'm going to shred the chicken. I have my little assistant here as well, so what we are going to do is just simply pull the chicken
Can I do it?
away from the bone like so. Yeah, you can do it in a minute. And just shred it basically with the forks like so. So we're just going to continue to shred this chicken now. Off you go.
Okay. Wait, shall I do this side?
Yeah, you can do. So I have put some rice into my bowl, and I'm just going to add some shredded chicken that was very well shredded by my son, I have to say. And then also I have chopped up a little bit of avocado that I'm going to put into the bowl as well. I've also got some tomatoes. Were you eating that then? So I'm going to
I
add
told the viewers, shush.
about 10 tomatoes to that as well. That's a bit too many there. And then it should be half a lime, but unfortunately we don't have any lime, so I'm going to put half a lemon in the dish as well. And that is our slow cooker shredded Mexican bowl done. That's how you make my delicious slow cooker shredded Mexican chicken bowl, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're off to have this for our dinner this evening, and it smells so good, we can't wait. Ted already knows how it tastes, so he's really looking forward to it as well. So that's it from us. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.